Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. Today we're going to talk about the new FM targets, the FM prizes, I guess VXP weekend, and whatever else anybody wants to talk about. So let's say hello, Magic Mike.
Hi, everybody. Hope you all well. Say happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yep, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And Derpy.
Good afternoon. Happy time change.
Yeah. All right, let's get moving.
Oh, that's a cue.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Prior to, I guess, this week, the intro to Siege campaign, which provides you with atomic punishers, now allows you to get it with Gladius, which I don't know that that's helping people.
I think that Kicksai should just stick the most two recent. Well, there's the most recent thing. Stick the two ones older than that into the Forsaken mission for 100 points, easy. So current best siege ship is the Reclaimer. I want the Punisher MK2 and the Gladius and the Forsaken mission for 100 points.
Yeah, because the Gladius is 9.5, and you're doing the Siege campaign for 9.0 Siege ship, so it doesn't give you enough. I mean,
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for using the ship, but there is actually some nice tech on it. If you want to scrap it and use those blueprints or armors or whatever else on a Reclaimer.
Okay. The armors are a little older, but yeah, I guess
they're better than nothing.
Yeah.
And if it's literally your first fleet, other than your Praetorians, then
okay.
I just don't think Kicksai is really approaching. I don't think they care about providing a very polished content for lower levels because there's so few of them. It doesn't make sense for Kicksai to spend their time on that, even though from that lower level perspective, they're just kind of screwed.
Okay. The show is on at a sensible time in the UK. So I'm glad, at least for another, 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's. Oh, the big surprise. Oh, no, you took it away.
Okay. Well, I was.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm assuming this was a bug or something, but this is the no-name 4285 Conqueror fleet that was
much better than the no-name 42884, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. I wanted it to be coming soon, trademark, but that maybe this is, but it's basically a breacher dreadnought from special abilities up, and then it has a some sort of berserk. We're not sure what it's caused by that surfaces ships with
appearing. It's like the Kicksai's private information server leaked into the live game.
Yeah, but there's only thing in there that's of interest is this. I think this submarine surfacing thing. So, which, I mean, for the gatekeeper, a lot of people want to surface them, especially based on a berserk. That means
that seems a bit. I don't think any of this makes any sense.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
That's why I put it in bug fixes, because I'm assuming it wasn't supposed to be released, and I really wouldn't pay a lot of attention to it. Just it's in there, or at least I'm not sure if it's still in there, but in the game. I'm assuming there's going to be another Conqueror that comes out in Bounty.
Another Conqueror, or more of the old Conqueror, or
I don't know, but they're obviously working on something. But based on appears to be based on the Breacher Dreadnought. So, alrighty, let's move on. Okay, right now we are in. It's Wednesday the 17th. We have the new FM, Titan Rising, Shadow and Flame, VXP weekend, High Ground. The following week with Bounty, that'll be helpful for people that want Everest tokens. Creeping Barrage. That's the trencher one?
Yep, that is the trencher one.
Okay. And the thing that we still don't see is the Siege Reclaimer, which the CM is saying is going to come out the following week.
April 7th.
Yeah, which is the week
Which is, it's a bit unusual to have that happen at that same time.
Yeah, it sort of messes with people that are trying to, especially that they won't know until right at the last minute,
Which is why we kind of like having this calendar 2 weeks ahead or 2 months ahead rather, 2 months at a time when Gilly was running the show.
Yeah.
Or announcing the show.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that, I don't know. It's also going to be running the same time as Pillage. So, wait, is Pillage normally would have upgrade tokens?
I don't remember if the second Pillage has any upgrade tokens.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but I've been wrong before. I don't want to say yes or no.
Yeah.
But I don't think it usually has had them.
Yeah, I agree with Couple. It's too close to the raid. I mean, you're going to end up with a lot of people are going to end up with just a ton of extra upgrade tokens after they've reached their point because they can't really plan for them. So I would prefer it the way they used to do it, either this week or next week, or maybe even the following week. Well, it seems too late, especially since nothing's really going on this week. Hey, TSM. And that's one more click. Mike. There we go.
I was trying.
It's all good. VXP weekend is going on. I did not get clarification. Did you ask anybody, Derpy, if we're going to get the same VXP targets we got last time, or are they going to include the both visual and mechanical changes that we saw in the targets?
I have not asked whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know if we will get the mechanical changes is the health of the far side turrets being scaled more accurately. But
yes.
I didn't ask. Now that you asked the question, I would assume that we get the fixed versions that make a bit more sense, but it doesn't really matter. I'm only going to hit as many of these things as I need to with my Conquerors to get up to a full VXP tokens for defenders again. But
yeah, and so it's I started my flag on upgrade, not really thinking about it, but I guess it's not really going to matter that much. I mean, it wasn't that difficult of a target, and I'm not that far down in there because I can't remember if it was something around Christmas, the Kicksmas give outs. I was at like 107 out of 99, or I was over 99 on my Defender VXP tokens, and I spent some on the Badger, which I guess we should talk about. Remind us later to do that, because I don't know, or we could do it now. Do you have one in your base? One or two in your base, Derpy?
I just put one in about an hour ago.
Okay, I put mine in. I got hit once since, and it seemed to do.
I've been hit about 6 times when I had literally just a blank ship with nothing on it in.
Okay, now mine's built and ranked and whatnot, and it seems to do a good job. I keep mine inside the gate, and it seems to work okay so far.
I like it. I think it's gonna work well.
Yeah. We have the Titan Rising mega campaign, and Shadow and Flame for the Hellswarm, and assault targets with the Zealot or Photon ECM. Mike, you hit one earlier with the Zealots, and you said you took 42 minutes in the first encounter.
Yes, I did, but I wouldn't take that as
indication.
Right, because I just wanted to go in and see what was going on, and I just started running around.
Yeah.
I was charging a lot of those targets, and I probably took a lot of unneeded damage.
Yeah. As I recall, the first 3 targets, you could, I think the way when I hit these targets in the past, I think, don't hold me to this, but I would auto with the photon on the first 3 targets, and then the rest of them I would drive the zealot because the PT boats that were launched eventually just sort of overwhelmed the photon because the photon is an accuracy-based weapon, while the zealot is a splash-based weapon, and was much more effective at taking out the swarmed. I'm sorry, the spawned PT boats. And so sometimes I would watch it on auto, and I would be like, "Oh my goodness!" Um, or even when I was driving, at that point, the ships would get like 3 or 4 different spawns out there because the photon is not very good at killing them. Photon wasn't taking a lot of damage, but it still wasn't really good at killing them. Thoughts, Derpy?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually running a split fleet last month with 1 zealot and 4 photons, and that worked okay. It was kind of weird to drive, but worked okay.
Okay.
I know I've done that TLC before and did much better than that. I know I did. So.
Yeah. Okay. And this spike, let's expect to see the level 182 replaced with the 184. Do they have a problem with 3s? Is it some?
They do. Well, maybe they like 4s because that's an unlucky number in a few places in the world.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the 1 and the 3, 13 being in the same number. I don't know, but somehow we're skipping the 3s, but we'll get to that later. And we'll get to that, the tier 10 assault armors as well. All right, let's move on. The FN targets. We have the new 184. And they retired the 135 for the 143. I've not hit the 184. Derpy has, and maybe we'll get a tour if he's all repaired up. But
yeah, I used to repair, whatever you call it, repair token.
Okay.
1 hour garrison repair token on there.
Okay, the 135, I was getting about 75% of the time, 60 to 75% of the time, I was getting instant repair on the water with the 135 and getting 6,000 points. With the 143, I think I've hit about 8 or 9 of them so far. It ranges from 12 minutes and change to 17 minutes and change. So we're getting about 3 times the damage for 40% more points on the 143.
I'm not so worried as much about what repair time I'm getting with a full or partially upgraded fleet with all the limited stuff. I'm worried about what a new player using the beginner's treasure trove fleet is getting, and if they're getting 6 hours damage instead of 3 hours damage on the 143 instead of the 135, I think that's an issue. But again, I don't really know how much Kixeye pays attention to or cares about lower levels.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. There's I don't know where they came from, but there's quite a few have popped up in Discord recently asking questions. So the number of people that actually find their way to Discord, especially at that level, it seems to be a small percentage. But unless it's somebody just pretending.
My knowledge from on this game is that, and this is something Chris had mentioned to me a while ago, that there are not a whole lot of new players joining this game. It's mostly just old people, a few who just keep playing, and it's retention they're focused on rather than recruiting new people.
But that's probably older because I expected, and I'm not sure if this is related to the BP Brawl game, the fact that people would just look up the the same battle pirates and find find the original battle pirates just on Google and start playing? Because, like I said, we are seeing, at least I think I'm seeing, a sort of an increase in newer players on Discord that we haven't seen in a while. And maybe I'm incorrect in
So we went
assigning.
from zero to one.
Then there's a couple of them now. I mean, some of them just pop in and out. I mean, well, there's one guy that asked a ton of questions, but there's other ones that pop in and ask questions. But I'm not sure what percentage. But you would think if they're launching a mobile game with the same name by the same company, that somebody might put it in Google and be like, okay, so
that's not a bad assumption. I mean,
yeah,
makes sense.
So they should try and keep everything in order for new players, especially because I don't think the game is launched in the U.S. It's Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and I think that's the majority of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would take KIXEYE an hour a month to sort those beginner prize chests.
Yeah, because they're all old targets, and
well, no, don't do beginner TLCs. Scrap all those. Don't touch them at all. Just move in a fully built fleet. Give them like U2 into prize pool 1.
Yeah. Yep. And but all the intricacies might be problematic as far as having this versus that, because like we discussed earlier, with the Gladius not be able to hit a target to get the Punisher.
Well, that's not an issue if you just don't do TLCs, don't do campaigns.
They did do a big advertising drive not that long ago. There were a few ads around for Battle Pirates or Battle Pirates Brawl. And the fact that no new hard for me to find new members. Okay, well, who's the guy that there's some guy that's looking for a new player that's looking for an alliance that's out there, that he's very interested in the game, but I told him not to join an alliance until he's got the tech, because otherwise he's going to be worth 200 points to somebody that's willing to beat up on an 81.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
It's good advice. Yep.
So, unless it was worth it to him in some way or another, that they're going to help. But I got what, 112 million in the raid or something like that. This guy got 132 million. Not sure how, but he did.
Wow.
Yes.
Mike, how many million did you get?
I got $1.25 million.
Yeah, I got 125.
I played real hard too, because
I just got a hair over 100.
I lost a whole day because we had something going on, and I played, real hard to get there, because quite honestly, I wanted to get all the prizes. But wow,
I didn't play the last day because
I didn't touch it the last 2 days.
Nor did I.
Yeah, because there was I got everything I wanted, but he had more stuff he could potentially earn, so I could understand. But still, being new and getting that kind of number, that's, I don't know how, but he did it. But let's
well, look at the fleet he would have had to buy. Anyway, okay.
Jerpy, do you want to hit at this point in time? Do you want to hit the 184?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I was just trying to figure out what to do with my fleet.
Okay.
I'm getting those lockup prompts again. Now it says operation failed. Please try again, and it's like, okay, so something's going on. I'll have to do that and reset.
Okay, well, here's the 184. Damn it. First thing you notice is the center of this target here is quite there's quite a few things going on, quite a lot of targets in here. But they're all thunderclaps, which means they can be blocked by mountains, which means you can use these guys right here to avoid taking damage. I've hit this one time, and I got 37 minutes repair, and that was using the steelheads. But I'm just going to start by sort of going around the target. I go this direction, counterclockwise, anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise, whichever way you want to say it. grab a few of these ships. The mortars you should be able to take down quite easily because your projectile speed, your anti-mortars are fast enough to deal with all those. The brimstone missiles, which are these guys, one here, one here, they're a lot ruder. They take a bit more work to get down. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those in the target. And I like to go for those quite early. I mean, I'll keep moving. I won't stop and target any of these guys until I'm at the brimstone. I'm not going to tank it. I'm just going to get those down as quickly as possible. Then once they're down, I'll go for clearing the structure. Clearing all these guys off. There are actually not a whole lot of ice fields under there. Yeah, Hefe has commented about the shadow under this. Looks like a hovercraft or something.
Yeah, it is amusing.
I hadn't seen it, and I tend to look a whole lot more at the targets and where I'm driving than at my own ship. So I really don't see it a whole lot.
Okay.
But
I don't have that skin on. I just have the old skin. That skin's too big in the shipyard for my tastes. Covers up how much damage you've taken.
yeah, so now that I've killed this section, better go ahead and actually get all these guys. I don't want to have to come back for them. I think I'm going to go back over to, well, can I get these from being out of range? Yes, I can. I'll loop over up to the north again, come back down through the center here, using these two mountains to block almost all the damage.
Okay.
Because if you hide right behind here, you can shoot at this platform and not take damage from the thunderclaps until you have to peek out from behind it to get around towards the other stuff. And if you wanted to launch, say, an Orion rocket, you could do that.
Does it do significant damage?
Yeah, it's explosive, does a lot of damage.
But it does. That's the new one that you can only play.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So right here, you can see these mountains are blocking the damage from all three of these ones I'm in range of.
Mm-hmm.
And which I'm happy with. I'll move closer, and I mean, you get a lot of damage off here. Maybe more splash would be nice, but you kill a few things. And now you're gonna have to peek out a little bit and might actually get hit. You see this guy's hitting me, so I have to start moving here. And I'll just go quickly. Now I'm in range of the brimstone, so I'll just go for getting to that one earlier rather than later. And that will be the bulk of the target. I mean, just kind of hide behind these two. And, I mean, that's about it.
Okay.
Maybe a Molotov Magens would help with the splash on this island or something. I kind of like that target. It seemed it's kind of different. It's kind of fun. Slightly different approach to the mechanic. Well,
and the fact that there is sort of a
way to avoid taking all that damage. It's not just 7 brimstones in the very center, which can't be blocked.
Yeah.
So,
which we saw a little bit with. I think we saw a little bit of that in the 162.
I can't remember that far back.
The raid target?
Oh, the raid target? Yeah, I can remember that.
Okay.
42 minutes damage. Here's the build I'm using. I've shared it before. It's fairly standard. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. And scroll down. I mean, it's fairly standard. U2, U2, U0, U0, and U3 flagship with anti-mortar projectile speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's working well enough for me. Average upgrade of about U2. I get about, like you see, 42 minutes on driving, and I don't know, an hour 15, an hour 25, an hour 30 on auto.
We have Yeah. His are at X1, so that
Oh,
shows.
I guessed.
Well, I'm just saying that's well, but I'm saying that should show some difference as far as um, X1 versus some combination of U from U0 to U3 that
Yeah, I did the math with the survival. I did the math. I mean, I put it into a spreadsheet and it did it for me. X1 has a 20% takes 20% less damage based on survival than the U2/U3 ships. 20% reduction is expected from this survival number here of this gain that you can't see because it's hard to read, but a 12.8k. Adding on that when you already have,
so,
you said it was 42,000. It's an 18%, 19% reduction in damage.
okay, so that includes the armors and the auras.
Yep. Oh, not the auras.
Okay, the
Good
auras
point.
yeah, the auras are a pretty small number though.
Well,
I think it's larger
yeah.
flag though.
Yeah, let's see here. 42,000. Why do I always forget about 2560 times 4 plus the flagship here? I don't know if the X1 flagship gives it a different boost. No, it doesn't. No, flagship is the same benefit, right? That's the same number. So, actually works out to be a 16% decrease in damage U2 to X1, just with the survival. So not worth it for me, but
okay. Okay, Howard. I just ran a 143 on auto for 12 minutes. TSM's got 10 minutes. Howard, are you at what level of upgrade are you at? Because we're sort of trying to figure out how much
My last one was
upgrade
1338.
matter.
If you have sprints on your Everest fleet, you will do better in the 143s as well, but that doesn't fire in the 184s, obviously. Well, not obviously, because Kickside breaks their own rules all the time, but
okay. Well,
My
that's
last auto was 38, by the way, and it's basically similar build to what Derpy just showed, if not the same exactly.
okay. Oh,
You ready?
okay. Well, I'm thinking, is there anything more we need to say? Derpy covered the 184. Okay. And the 143. Whether it's, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, whether it's 12 minutes or 10 minutes or 18 minutes, if you're going to go back and repair in the dock, it's the same. But if you're going to run it out and hit as many as you can, well, it's 12 hours of damage, right? That fleet can take, and it's pretty evenly distributed. So it's I think so 12 hours times, so 720 minutes of damage. So TSM can hit about 70 at 5 minutes each. So that is 4 hours, 5.8 hours.
I'm not going to hit a bunch of 143s.
No, I'm just saying, as far as I'm trying to figure out what the real change is for a lot of players. And that's what I'm saying, as far as if you have 10 minutes of damage on average for autoing the 148 versus 15 or 20, that's still, I'm not really sure. I think you're going to go to bed before this happens either way. So I'm not really sure. I think the main change that it's created is that players can no longer repair on the water. It's the inconvenience of bringing it back to your base to be fully repaired.
Yeah.
So and that's going to come in more in did a UFO just land in somebody's yard?
Yep, that was mine.
Okay, your own UFO
Yep,
or your own yard, but
both.
okay, all right. Um, but more is the issue of having to break it down and repair it as opposed to repairing on the water. This is going to become mostly a pain in the ass on the week of pillage. And if we have a time limited campaign or whatnot that involves the your Everest, but otherwise it really shouldn't be that much of an issue besides dealing with pillage. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Points versus damage are about the same at X1, but the time. Yeah, the X1, the 184 appears to get probably a little bit more advantage on the at the X1 level versus the 143 due to the ice fields and whatnot. So it might be different depending on your upgrade level and build time. So, or build level. So, alrighty, let's move on. All right, we have oh, I should have done the other one. Move forward just so we. I think the next one is how.
Next slide.
Yeah, but we're gonna go back to this one.
Okay.
No. I guess I deleted a slide. Okay, we can go. Because I thought I created a slide. It's a 4-week FM cycle. So you're going to have 4 weeks to claim all this stuff. Normally when we have if you see the top two, the two assault armors, the Z3M and Z3CO, they're 35K each with 4 claims. This is the same point value in order to get the forge thrower or whatever. It's the same number of points to claim 2 of those, which is the max claims. I saw somebody saying there was an exception, but generally if you have 4 claims, it means that the upcoming ship is going to have 6 armor slots.
I thought it meant that ship was going to have 4 armor slots.
No. 2, you have 4 armor slots.
That can't be right.
Yeah, that's right. Because you have
no,
yeah.
The Z3s, the siege ones we just had for the Reclaimer have 4 available each. I'm looking at it with my face right now.
With your phaser?
With my face right now.
I don't.
It's been 4 claims. You spend 4 claims means 4 armors. When we had the Gladius, we had 2 claims per week.
Yeah.
And that the Gladius had 2 armor slots instead of 4, hence 2 claims per week per armor instead of 4.
Okay.
I'm expecting to need 10 of each armor. I'm expecting to get 10 of each armor. I've asked for official clarification from Kixeye, but it doesn't. They haven't provided any. I'm expecting the next assault hold to have 4 armors, 2 of each type. You need 10 total, 4 weeks, 2.5 per week on average.
Okay. And the team is looking into reports of performance issues in regards to what's going on with you, Mike. And I think that's somebody mentioned that earlier, that it's difficult to repair.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of pop-ups, a lot of errors. I've been rolling for crews and getting getting stuck on screens.
My last error said operation failed. Please try again. But there's another one also. This is trying to please wait while something or other. I don't know if I kept that one.
Yeah. So.
And it's just before the show started. This started happening to me. I don't know about others, but
yeah,
I've been on reload loops for 4 minutes before I had to close the tab and open it up again.
Okay, so it's not just me then. All right, great. Well, not great, but I can stop troubleshooting my equipment.
You heard it first. Mike loves performance issues with the game.
Thank you.
He wants your game to run more slowly.
It's called the Ravager. Where did this come from?
It comes from the pop-ups about the armors.
Oh, okay. Oh, does anybody have I haven't seen those.
The bugs do not stop your base from getting flattened.
Yeah. Well. All right.
Well, no one's got my base yet. I think I'm in Sector 24 if anyone wants to visit.
Okay. All right. So the same price. Let's take a look at the actual armors. All right. We have the 2 Tier 10 armors on the left. I did not include the Tier 9.5 because that provided a penetrative damage buff of +3. So we can, it's basically copy and paste as far as the armor we have for the Reclaimer.
And because it's the same survival amount, I assume we need the same number total as well. Another indication that it's 4 armors for the new hull.
Yeah. So there we are. I mean, we didn't catch it the first time, but are you surprised that we've 2.5 times the weight to go from 9 to 10, 1,600 to 4,000, and we still have the same raw armor points. We do get an increase that is just shy of 2.5 for the.
Do armor points matter anymore? I mean, that's 20K. And how much does my, if I look at my Photon ECM, that has 700. Okay, I guess it sort of gives you a slight difference. I mean, 20K divided by 700K, it's under 1%.
Yeah, but then you got to multiply it by 4 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's 2%.
Yeah.
3%. Yeah. 12% total. That doesn't.
More impact than the shockwaves had during the last raid.
I don't care about the armor points.
But what I'm saying is, it's just sort of not that it's a big issue. The build time is the same as it was in Tier 9, 12 hours 42.
That's with the Facebook updates.
Yeah, this is with me. So it's still the same regardless for everybody. Yeah, upgrades matter much more now than pretty much anything, which is what it is. Let's see. Do we have anything? 1 second. I'm just looking to see if we have any slides after this one, because I don't think we do. No, we don't, unless people want to talk about Everest X1 again. But yeah, thanks, Mike. Operation completing scene now. So if anybody, is there anything else we should be discussing? I'm going to put a link in the right-hand side if anybody wants to join the show and talk about whatever, but
sorry, Maniac, I didn't mean to make a problem.
It's all good. But if anybody would like to join, is there anything else that we haven't covered? Okay.
Well, I don't know. Well, just looking ahead, if we're fully decked out for this last raid,
Yeah.
the heck do you think the next one's going to look like
What do you mean?
in terms of repair times, things like that, difficulty, targets?
Well, we'll have the new,
We'll have a new target.
the Ravager or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah. Just thinking about doability in terms of.
Captain Lockheed's asking about the Badger.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think I have a. Let me see. We have a basic slide on it. Do you want to do a slide, or do you want to do a walkthrough on that one, Derpy, as far as components and placement?
Yeah, let me bring that up here. Okay. So, it's the first tier 10 defender hull. We haven't had any others, right? Yeah, we haven't. Similar armor points to the Piranha, if I remember. It's definitely a concussive hull. There's pretty much one choice for weapons right now, and that's the one it comes with. It's got deflection on there, which is standard for PvP, and it's got higher numbers than other tier 9 defenders, if I remember correctly. Has a base combat speed that's really slow. I wouldn't want to use no engine on this thing. You either have to get it up to 70 or higher, or get it to 0. It has an aura here, which is duplicate aura cap of 1. So if you have 4 Badgers all in the same area, or 2 Badgers right now in the same area, it's not going to do anything. But if you have one near the front half and one near the back half, and they're not really overlapping, that's probably better. Range of 100, which I guess if you're using a creeping hull as opposed to like a blitzing hull, you could outrange this thing. It cuts your damage against buildings by roughly 50%, against ships by roughly 1/3, and it tracks you within a range of 10. So it's always going to try and chase you down, get close to you within a range of 10, even if you put on, it will do that if you put on the regular weapon. This regular weapon that comes with it has a range of 90, but it won't stop at 90 with this thing on here. It will track you to 10 if you put on this weapon. If you put on some older weapon, polonium thrower or whatever, which I wouldn't really recommend, this tracking thing won't work. Anyway, yeah, they can lure it out of your base, which we'll talk about. In terms of weapons, I just put those 3 on there. Armors, you can go with whatever. I don't really think that the deflection plates here make a huge difference. I'm going to put those on last after I have everything else built. Might not even put them on for a while. You could go with those. If it's against exterminators, you probably want concussive or missile. And D5 EV is an option if you want something faster with more evade. That's probably my favorite. Or the armor that gives you stun resist, the D5 ST. But I don't really think that that's going to be something you really want to use, but maybe. At this point, or even before you put on these armors, you have to decide if you want it to move or not. If you want it to move, I would put on, a normal engine. Onslaught engine gives you nice combat speed and evade. If you don't want it to move, I would put on a sync drive so that it goes slowly. Or a sync drive so it does not move. A sync drive so it does not move if you have an Overlord carrier in your base, which is also not moving, which has a combat speed of 0. This will match the slowest combat speed. If your Overlord's alive, it will be 0 and won't move. I like this one potentially for one ship way out front, so it can't get lured and killed. That's an engine. And in terms of your specials, you can go with Hyper 30 to catch them faster, more quickly. Agility System 4 for evade and stun resist. Obviously, don't use this one if you have on a sync drive because that won't work. I like Agility 4 to make you live longer, even though we don't have a whole ton of stuff using evade at the moment. In terms of regular specials, the other 3 you pretty much want to use to increase your damage. One of those is Zip Drive Y, 40% reload and plus 100% damage. This one is better than Zip Drive X even though it has less reload and more damage because of deflections and because of the windup that this weapon has, where it increases its damage and reload time as it continues to fire. I like Zip Drive Y. It makes sense here to me. Also really important is that these weapons are dumb fire splash, which means they need to hit quickly and they need lots of splash. And the best special for that is PBX payload, or Desolation Warheads. It's the one I'm showing you right now.
Yeah.
And that doubles your projectile speed, more splash, slightly less spread, whatever. This is a really low spread value in any case, I think. It doesn't show us what it is. Anyway, this last special, you have to go something else to boost damage, reload, whatever. Options for that are Concussive Upgrade, which is not great. Concussive Force. Let me actually go ahead and search. You have Concussive Upgrade, which gives you just 10% more damage. Concussive Force, which gives you less range but even more damage. I like that one more. I don't think we're really worried about the anything too much here with range. I don't think that matters a whole ton. Some people are going with the CMCT Overloader for 44% more reload, 45%. I don't think that matters, especially not when you've gotten to wind up. It's going to be a very, very small increase, and damage is way more important than reload in PvP. I would not use this one unless you're using it over evade, and choose not run an evade special. Even then, there's probably something better to use. PBX payload I like a lot. It's the same chance. It's a 20% chance, higher chance. So if you have R&D that brings you from 12 up to 32 at doing double the damage, that matters a lot for me. But if you want something more consistent, even though with the pure number of shots this thing's going to be putting out, you're going to get really close to average over any length of time in any case. This essentially increases your overall damage by a bit more than 20% with deflections in there. Whereas the other specials, and you can use one of those over Agility System 4 if you want to, is only a 10% increase, whereas I'm telling you that the PBX payload's roughly a 25%, 30% increased damage depending on deflections of the defender. Because if you do 100,000 damage, they have 100,000 armor, you do nothing. Then if you get a crit, you go up to 200,000 damage, they have 100,000 armor, you now do infinitely times more damage than you did before.
Yeah.
That's obviously not a real example because it's not 100,000, but the point remains, with deflection, higher damage, a small chance at much more damage is better than average chance at average damage.
Yeah, because you start off with 13, and this takes it to 30. I forget. Does it take it to 33? Is it additive?
It adds. Peter told me it's additive. It just adds straight up.
Okay, so you're going to like 33. You're going from like 13 to 33. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you were being a little bit conservative as far as how much damage that adds.
You think it's more than 25%? Yeah, probably.
Well, if you're doubling, yeah, because you're adding 20%.
Doubling your average damage.
Yeah, but then you need to account for, like you said, you need to account for the level of deflection, and so all the points above that deflection number, I didn't run the numbers, but I would just assume it was higher than just a 5% increase over the percentage chance.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
like significantly higher, but yeah.
I was being slightly conservative, sure.
Yeah.
I guess if you wanted to, you could use ECM dampener if you really wanted more slow resistance, or stun resistance. But
okay, this is instead of that's instead of Gun Scrambler.
That's instead of Agility System 4.
I'm sorry. Okay.
But I don't know. For this slot, you can run Agility 4. If you can also run Hyper 30 if you have a moving ship and you want it even faster, which is probably a good idea, but I didn't do that in the one I just built. Or you can run another damage special if you don't think there's a lot of benefit to having evade, which is probably true in the exact meta today. with a concussive force, whatever, wherever that went. Anyway, that's sort of what I'm thinking in terms of the build. And then I see sort of two ways for you to use this hole. One of them is put it in your portals and move or not move, doesn't really matter. Hide it back there so they can't easily get there and prep it out. Because if I just have this guy sitting where the gatekeeper is, out here with an engine, it's going to start moving as soon as the battle starts, even just behind one portal. It's going to get lured out pretty easily, get it out here 1v5, and it loses pretty quickly. Does do a little bit of damage, slows them down, but you're not getting the benefit from the aura there. If you want one out front, which I probably will, I'll go ahead and these projectiles get blocked by mountains, by the way. I'll probably put one out front with the sync drive so it can't move. And so you have an aura of 100 centered right around here, which would look sort of like if I pull up a patrol range of 100. Be about this large, and everything in this area will be doing less damage. So by the time the ship's shooting at me and my buildings, they're doing less damage. Then I'll have one back here too, which will have an engine on there. So when these two portals die, it will come out and start killing them. Or if they get through my base, it will keep chasing them down so that the battle's not over, even though they're past my gates, the battle's not over yet. That's sort of my thoughts and my approach, but you definitely don't want to have one they can lure out easily or kill easily. You want to hide it behind portals or put a sync drive on it.
Well, and also, right now we have a build limit of 2, and there's really no reason to have them both
on top of each other right here and here. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, it would if you want to do damage, but you're not getting the benefit of the aura if you do that.
Yeah, because the aura's a huge thing. And, that's why either slowing them down, you have, because you at the beginning, you said that you never wanted to not put an engine on one.
If it's just moving at a speed of 30, and we can watch the blood decks if you want to, it's not very good.
Well, it would actually be faster than 30 by just putting the specials on it, right?
I don't know.
Well, if you put the specials, if you go through the specials, you're adding combat speed with the
zip drive Y. Yeah. I wouldn't put. I mean, if you can do what you want to do, but I'm not going to not put an engine on here.
More my thought is in order to. I don't know. It really depends on your base configuration, and I don't have my second one done. But the fact that you had a speedy one, if they go in, bust all your gates, and then they run away, and then you have one that quickly comes and sits right on top of them, that is one issue. But if you got one at 50 combat speed versus, I think my other one's at 81, they're gonna wait out the clock basically to get to them, and it's still going to be stuck inside of the channels in your base. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it, but I do see that there's a potential there. I don't necessarily know that's the way to go, but you understand what I'm saying as far as one that's going to muck along, going through the channels, and not be that far away from your outpost by the time they're forced to rush at it.
Yeah, although I just prefer to just put a sync drive on that instead, and just have it always stay right there.
Yeah, but 30 or 50 combat. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, 58. This one would be at 47. That I don't. If you want to go with that,
well, no, I'm just saying
personally like it.
I'm just saying it's worth thinking about. I wouldn't automatically throw out the idea of not putting an engine, using some of these other specials, putting it further back in your base so that it's
still back around here. If they prep out everything, I don't know.
I don't even know where your outpost is. Your outpost is over there, right? Or to the right.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. At this zoom in level, it looks like you can just come in and take your outpost out.
You can, kind of.
Well, is it on the outside of your base? Oh no,
it's right here.
Okay,
right in the center. The
Okay,
one I'm
okay,
clicking on.
okay, yeah. So yeah, if you put it behind your outpost and then let it, do its own thing, so by the time, it would just get there and then it would just hover around your outpost, but still follow ships. So they couldn't sit there and just sort of dick off and just not
Well,
go.
it won't follow ships very well with the range of 10.
No, it still has the range of 90.
That range of 90 doesn't show up. It has a range of 10. Only this little wide circle will show up in terms of the weapon range. It won't. If you stick it with an engine out here, it won't move unless it can get within a range of 10 of you. At least that's my understanding.
I'm not completely, but I'm not sure I'm completely understanding you, but no, the idea is that it's still going to chase.
Only if all the portals are dead.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea myself, but if someone else wants to do it, great, go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, again, what I'm saying is don't throw out the idea, if in your base that might work, don't throw out the idea completely of not putting an engine on it. That's all. I'm not saying that not putting an engine on it is the way to go on the second one. I'm just saying, take a look at it. Depending on how your base is set up, even though like 95% of the players in the game have this, base set up, but
it's one I built.
Definitely build them different than another one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of variety you can use in these builds, but where did my ship go? Why does it keep rude?
Okay. Alrighty. Well, nobody wanted to join the show. So I think we've gone through everything. We've gone through the VXP weekend. We've gone through the FM. We've gone through the Badger. So I guess we'll see you all on Friday. God knows what we're going to talk about at that point in time. I'm assuming the VXP target's going to be very similar to what we saw last time. I don't know, but you never know. So show up next week, and thanks a lot for showing up, everybody. And we'll see you then, and thanks for showing up today.
Nighty night.
See you later, everyone.
Later, people.